So we're going to find a place in which to park, and we'll see if we can stop to look at the house. There's a car parked right now. I'm going to get off and see if I can go closer. So this was purchased by Ferdinand Marcos in the 1980s. Marcos spent about $5 million to furnish this house with luxurious furnishings. It has 5 bedrooms. It has a basement. It has a separate carriage house. That means it has a separate unit for servants from a long time ago, but they used it to I think have their bodyguards live with them. Who used this house? It was Aimee Marcos who used this house when she was a student at Princeton University. Why didn't she live in the dorm? Because she felt entitled. Anak mayaman, tumira sa nakaw na bahay. While she was studying at Princeton, she had a monthly allowance. Unlike ordinary Filipinos who lived on a few pesos a day when they were in school, Aimee Marcos had $10,000 as her monthly allowance. Where did the money come from? Of course, it came from Filipino public funds. Even if Aimee Marcos was not a scholar, she was, in other words, being supported by the money of poor Filipinos. $10,000 a month, plus the tuition at Princeton, plus all the expenses of living in the United States. Aside from this house, the Marcos family also purchased another luxurious house near here, Cherry Hill, New Jersey. That house was meant for another Marcos child, Bongbong Marcos, studying at Wharton University, and like Aimee, also had luxurious lifestyle in the United States. Let me stop for a moment and just check whether there's work going on here. Apparently they're trying to fix this house. This house was recovered by the PCGG in 1987, but the Marcoses had already stolen again the furnishings. It was more or less empty. Hola. Are you going in?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, I wanted to see what's inside. I'll look through the window. Thank you. So it's empty now. It was recovered by the PCGG, but that was, of course, almost 10 years after the Marcoses had already spent a lot of money for Aimee Marcos so that she could live in this house. As you can see, it's not in a good state. Nobody wants to purchase this house simply because it sits on 13 acres of land, and that's very hard to maintain. But you can imagine that for the Marcoses, 13 acres was not a problem. They could spend a lot of money because it wasn't their money. And the saddest part and the most infuriating part, of course, is our dictator's daughter never even graduated from Princeton University after spending so much money stolen by their family from Filipinos to live in this house. It's a quiet area. It's just a few minutes drive to Princeton, where she did not finish. She lived here in the late in Princeton. She went to Princeton in the late 70s. Although the title to the property was transferred to them to a dummy corporation in 1982. So yeah, that's the address. This is Princeton Pike Road. House purchased with ill-gotten wealth by Ferdinand Marcos Sr. and used by Amy Marcos, the same way that her younger brother, who's now running for president, used a luxurious house somewhere nearby to waste money that they also stole from Filipinos. I'll see you again in our next episode. We'll look at another building, this time in New York City. Thank you.